Tuesday, May 31st, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, back from the holiday weekend with the latest local news. Rob Adams will have a look at the forecast and a Nutmeg Sports update, and Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, on to today's news. It was a busy Memorial Day weekend for Connecticut state troopers who handed out more than 4,100 tickets. Troopers said those tickets included things like unsafe lane changes, following too closely, and cell phone violations. Troopers also said 51 people were arrested for driving under the influence. 447 crashes were investigated, 2 of those were fatal, and 74 caused injuries. Finally, troopers say that another 1,263 tickets were issued for speeding and 903 tickets were given for seatbelt violations. Weston Police, Fire, and EMS responded to a one-car motor vehicle rollover in the area of 67 Good Hill Road early Sunday morning. 3 people were reportedly injured in the crash and were transported to Norwalk Hospital. For updates, check thewestonforum.com. And Waterbury police say a 26-year-old Bridgeport man was killed after being struck by 2 cars early Saturday morning on an exit ramp on Route 8. The Waterbury Republican American reports that state police said that Melvin Gordillis was on exit 33 ramp of Route 8 South when he was hit by a 2004 Toyota 4Runner driven by 53-year-old Jeanette Gusto of Waterbury. Gordillis was then struck again by a second car, which police identified as a 2015 Lancer driven by James Scott, also of Waterbury. State police found Gordillis in the roadway and he was pronounced dead at the scene. State police have not charged any of the drivers involved in the crash, and they have yet to say why they suspect Gordillis to be in the road at that time. And traffic on Interstate 91 northbound in Wallingford was a mess this morning and is still in the process of clearing out after a truck carrying tables and chairs overturned, according to WFSB. The left and center lanes were closed there around 8 a.m. this morning. The Department of Transportation said that accident happened between exits 16 and 17. No injuries were reported, and officials say it might be not entirely cleared until noon today. And a Milford man was arrested on charges of public indecency last week, the second time he's been charged for allegedly masturbating in public. On May 24th, the Milford Police Department received a report that a man had driven by a group of juveniles while they were playing in the Anchor Beach area. The man then returned and drove by the juveniles again, this time with the driver door open. The juveniles told police they saw the man touching himself in the car. 25-year-old Dylan DeRosa of 139 Edgefield Avenue was quickly developed as a suspect through eyewitness statements and vehicle descriptions. DeRosa was arrested in March on similar charges. And an 18-year-old Darien resident was charged with permitting a minor to possess alcohol following an underage drinking party at his home recently. Marcus Pagliarula of Swift Lane allegedly admitted to hosting a party for 20 to 30 people while his parents were out of state. Darien police received an anonymous tip online about the party and saw a teenager standing in front of the home with a case of beer at his feet as they approached. Upon seeing the police, the youths turned off the interior lights of the home and could be heard running through the woods. Officers found numerous party cups and beer cans littered across the house and a table that had been set up for beer pong. Police said there were signs of profuse alcohol consumption and identified Pagliarula as the party's host. He said the guests had brought the alcohol, though he did not know from where. He was arrested and released on a $200 bond. And an alert liquor store clerk in Westport helped lead police to the arrest of 4 people for using phony credit cards. According to Hearst, Connecticut media, on Friday at about 7:20 at night, Westport police received a report from Castle Wine and Spirits that 4 individuals were purchasing merchandise with what he believed to be fraudulent credit cards. According to police, when confronted by store personnel, these individuals fled in a red Mazda bearing Maryland license plates. The vehicle was spotted traveling westbound on Post Road East in the area of Sherwood Island Connector shortly after that report was broadcast. The car was pulled over by patrol units after making a left turn onto the Sherwood Island Connector. All 4 suspects were in the vehicle and were positively identified as the ones who were at Castle Wine and Spirits a short time earlier. They were found to be in possession of a number of fraudulent credit cards as well as several bottles of liquor. Arrested were Monty Payne, 35 years old, of Queens, New York, 23-year-old Ariana Burton of Hammond, Louisiana, 21-year-old Tamara McGee of Louisiana, and 35-year-old Kathleen Pina of Brooklyn, New York. And Milford police arrested a local man for allegedly kicking a woman in the stomach during an altercation on Riverside Street and then later kicking a police officer on May 28th. Police said that 26-year-old Christopher Wozlowski and a woman were in a car in the area of Riverside Street and the Housatonic Drive when they got into an argument. Initial complaints to the police said that the argument turned into a physical altercation when the two exited the vehicle and Wozlowski threw the female to the ground and kicked her in the stomach before driving away. Police say they later found him near the Margaret Egan Center, where he ran from police and allegedly kicked an officer while trying to get away. And in other news, bear sightings continue to rise in the area. Weston resident Michael Ogrance was working inside his house over the weekend on Country Club Lane in Easton when he saw a dark shadow pass by one of his windows. Thinking it was a dog, he went to the window to get a closer look, but instead saw this bear outside. He managed to snap a quick picture before the bear saw him and ran into the woods. And this morning, the New Canaan Advertiser is reporting that a black bear has been spotted close to the downtown area. At 8:30 this morning, New Canaan police sent out a notice saying that a black bear is currently wandering the area of Owen-Oak Lane, Seminary Street, Owen-Oak Ridge, and Elm Street. You can follow ncadvertiser.com for updates on that. But we're going to throw it over to Rob Adams now for a look at the forecast. Rob?
All right, Kate, good morning, and good morning, everyone. Welcome back from the long weekend. A sunny day, a high near 84, pretty nice outside, wind out of the northwest around 9. Tonight, mostly clear, low 59, with a light and variable wind becoming north around 5 after midnight. To Wednesday, sunny and 77. To Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low around 55. Thursday, we get to 75 under mostly sunny conditions. And Friday, a chance of showers with thunderstorms also possible in the afternoon, mostly cloudy and 72. For your weekend, partly sunny and 79 on Saturday and a chance of showers and 78 on Sunday. Around the region right now, temperatures are at 76 in Danbury, 75 in Darien, where they win everything anyway, and Shelton, you're at 78 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng takes a look back on this day in history. We have a Nutmeg Sports Update with Rob and some more news coming up after this.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Eng for a look back on this day in history. Check it out.
An icon makes the transition to talkies. But first we go all the way back to 1279 BCE. Ramesses II, now known as the Great, becomes pharaoh of ancient Egypt. He would reign for an amazing 66 years and is considered by many the greatest ruler of Egypt. He oversaw the largest ancient building projects since the pyramids, which had actually happened about 1,500 years earlier. He is also the most likely candidate to be the legendary pharaoh from the Exodus story. 1859, the clock tower at the Houses of Parliament, now known as the Elizabeth Tower, starts keeping time. The tower is best known for its bell that chimes on the quarters. Officially known simply as the Great Bell, it is nicknamed Big Ben, probably after civil engineer Benjamin Hall, whose name is inscribed on it. 1879, Gilmore's Garden in New York City, renamed Madison Square Garden by William Henry Vanderbilt, and opened to the public at 26th Street and Madison Avenue. The building lacked a roof, which made it a poor choice for poor weather events, and it was demolished in 1890. It is the first of 4 buildings to bear the name Madison Square Garden, and if you ever got to play a party there, Rick Nelson wishes you luck. Finally, now we go to 1929 for this.
Trance over hoochie coochie dance, day-dee day-day dee day-dee day-dee day-day. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog.
Mickey Mouse selling hot dogs while Minnie puts us in a trance with her hoochie coochie dance. Gotta love the 1920s. 1929, Walt Disney voices Mickey Mouse himself. That is the first time ever Mickey Mouse speaks. That is your look back in history for today, May 31st, and I'm Donald Eng.
Thanks so much to Don, and it's now time to throw it back to Rob for a Nutmeg Sports Update.
All right, Kate, we've got plenty of scores for you as we get the championship week in the States off and running. A lot of playoff games, qualifying rounds beginning on Saturday, so let's run through the scores. We'll begin in Class LL Baseball. Qualifying round scores, it was Xavier over Brian McMahon 14-2, and Stanford doubled up Farmington 10-5, so they both move on into the first round. Qualifying round from Class L Boys Lacrosse, winners were Greenwich over Newtown 20-6. It was Shelton by 6 over Danbury. Southington knocked off Ward by 1. Trumbull ended the season for South Windsor 16-10, and Cheshire throttled Stamford 19-1. Staying in Boys Lacrosse in Class S, qualifying round game, it was St. Joseph over Monville 22-3. From girls lacrosse, one qualifying score, St. Joseph over Haddam Killingworth 15-10 as Abby Ivanovich and Kate Condren each scored 3 times. From Class L girls tennis, it was Ridgefield over Cheshire 5-2. Chelsea Hopper and Isabella Rendon defeated their Cheshire opponents by a score of 6-1, 6-1. Trumbull over Hamden 6-1, and Wilton beat Southington 5-2. Now that moved these teams all on to the first round, and they played yesterday. So how'd you spend your Memorial Day? Well, you were out at the tennis courts. New Canaan swept the 3 doubles matches and split 4 points in singles as it rolled to a 5-2 win over Fairfield Ward in the first round in Class L on Monday. That was at New Canaan. Also, Darien topped Wilton 6-1, and Staples beat Trumbull 5-2. To volleyball now. In case you missed it, Darien topped their tremendous week in FCAC Championships with a title in boys volleyball. That was on Friday. The Blue Wave beat Ridgefield with scores of 24-26, 25-22, 25-18, and 25-21. The Wave also won titles in girls tennis, baseball, girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, and we're not sure, but possibly Quidditch as well. Over to girls tennis again. Sarah Steinberg of Wilton was recently honored as the first female recipient of the John G. Davis Tennis Award at the Harvey School in Katona, New York. The school has inscribed her name on the memorial plaque honoring the 1950 Harvey alum, whose father, Dwight Philly Davis, is credited with establishing the Davis Cup in professional tennis. Steinberg, who's a junior, transferred from Wilton to Harvey this year, played #1 singles for the Cavaliers, earning all league honors in the Housatonic Valley Athletic League. On the schedule today, you've got the boys golf tournament at Woodway at 12:30, and you've got the girls golf at Bronson at Shelton at 1 o'clock. From baseball, first round games in Class XXL. Stanford at Amity, Wilton at Cheshire, Darien home for Wilbur Cross, Naugatuck at Ward, Bristol Central is at Greenwich, Danbury visits Manchester, Ridgefield home for Staples, West Hill at Simsbury, it's Ludlow at South Windsor, and Norwalk is at Trumbull. From Class M first round, St. Joseph is at Suffield. From softball, double-L first round games, New Canaan at Bristol Central, Danbury home for Stamford, East Hartford is at Ludlow, Wilton at Ward, Ridgefield at Newington, Trumbull home for Darien, and Norwalk at West Hill. From girls lacrosse, here are your Class L first round games. Newtown at Darien, Ward home for Stanford, Staples at Glastonbury, Norwalk at Greenwich, Trumbull is at Ridgefield. It's Wilton at South Windsor and Ludlow at Cheshire. From Class M, Laurelton Hall comes down to play New Canaan, and in Class S, St. Joseph at East Catholic. And from boys tennis, you've got the Class XXL tournament at Yale at noon. The Class L tournament is at Hall High School, and also the Class M tournament over at Yale. From girls tennis, Greenwich and Ludlow in second round at 3. That's at Ludlow. Ridgefield at Simsbury at 3 o'clock. And in track and field, the Class L and M championships at Willowbrook Park in New Britain at 3 o'clock. So, of course, again, a very busy time of year with all of these state games coming off the FCAC tournament. And, of course, we'll have Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. Don and I will reveal last week's winner of the HAN Network FCAC Athlete of the Week and announce the nominees for this week. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, getting back to a little more news today. According to the New Canaan Advertiser, a national story about the value of various residential home renovations in the Saturday, May 28th edition of the New York Times went local when discussing the housing market in general and targeted New Canaan specifically as having a glut of large homes listed for sale at the present time. Paul Sullivan, writing in a Wealth Matters story, quoted Amanda Briggs, brokerage manager at Houlihan Lawrence, saying that the town had a lot of listings for large 4-story homes that are 10 to 15 years old. The story, which was mostly about whether kitchen, bathroom, gym, pool, and other upgrades might pay off when selling a house, singled out New Canaan when discussing overall selling strategies. In New Canaan, the story continued, overpricing a house can be a major mistake as it could sit on the market for 3 times as long as a house priced to sell. But you can get more on that at ncadvertiser.com. And the Shelton Volunteer Fire Department used a vacant home on Perry Hill Road recently to brush up on some training exercises. As you can see from the photos, they practice ventilating a home that is on fire by opening up the roof, reeling out the hose to extinguish flames on the inside of a house, and more rescue tactics. You can see some more photos at sheltonherald.com. And local kids, teens, and adults will join forces this Friday, June 3rd at 5:30 at Fairfield's Nutmeg Bowl for an evening of family-friendly competition, pizza, and fun to support the anti-bullying programs at the Center for Family Justice. The 6th annual Bowling Against Bullying event is part awareness, part campaign fundraiser. Individuals and teams who participate do so to raise money for CFJ, which in addition to offering support and crisis services to victims of domestic and sexual violence, is also an accredited child advocacy agency which provides extensive bullying and dating violence education in local schools. The anti-bullying programs that CFJ runs reached more than 2,000 local students last year. According to the Center for Family Justice, these programs are critical as the National Center for Educational Statistics reports that approximately 1 in 4 children will be bullied during each school year. Meanwhile, the Centers for Disease Control reported in 2015 that children and teens who experience bullying are more likely to experience problems ranging from sleep disturbances and academic challenges to anxiety disorders and depression. And if you're looking to cool off in Trumbull this week, Tashawa Pool opened to the public on Saturday and will remain open daily from noon to 6 o'clock at night through June 15th. Beginning on June 16th, summer pool hours will start, and those are 10 in the morning to 8 at night. The town's second pool, Beach Pool, however, will not be open until June 16th due to some ongoing renovations. Well, we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning.
Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
At the Language School in Ridgefield, we teach practical language for real life, tailored to your professional needs or those of your children. Offering more than a dozen languages, the school specializes in creating customized classes for businesses, government agencies, and healthcare professionals in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Native speakers from around the world will instruct students of all ages in the language and the culture using a hands-on method. Find out more about what makes us different at thelanguageschoolglobal.com or call us at 203-241-7010.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories that we're following today, including that it was a busy Memorial Day weekend for Connecticut State Troopers who handed out more than 4,100 tickets. State police said those tickets were issued for things like unsafe lane changes, following too closely, and cell phone violations. In total, 51 people were arrested in the state for driving under the influence. 447 crashes were investigated, 2 of those were fatal, and 74 others led to injuries. Finally, troopers say another 1,263 tickets were issued for speeding, and 903 were given out for seatbelt violations. And Weston Police, Fire, and EMS responded to a one-car motor vehicle rollover in the area of 67 Good Hill Road early Sunday morning. 3 people were reportedly injured in the crash and transported to Norwalk Hospital. For updates on that story, check thewestonforum.com. And Waterbury police say that a 26-year-old Bridgeport man was killed after being struck by 2 cars early Saturday morning on an exit ramp off Route 8. The Waterbury Republican American reports that state police said that Melvin Gordills was on the exit 33 ramp of Route 8 South when he was hit by a 2004 Toyota 4Runner driven by 53-year-old Jeanette Gusto of Waterbury. Gordills was then struck again by a second car, which police identified as a 2015 Lancer driven by James Scott, also of Waterbury. State police found Gordills in the roadway and he was pronounced dead at the scene. State police have not charged any of the drivers involved in the crash, and they have yet to say why they suspect that Gordell's was in the road at that time. And a Milford man was arrested on charges of public indecency last week, the second time he's been charged after allegedly masturbating in public. On May 24th, the Milford Police Department received a report that a man had driven by a group of juveniles who were playing in the Anchor Beach area. The man then returned and drove by the young people again, this time with the driver door open. The juveniles told police they saw the man touching himself in the car. Dylan DeRosa, 25 years old, of Milford, was quickly developed as a suspect through eyewitness statements and vehicle descriptions. DeRosa was arrested back in March on similar charges. And an 18-year-old Darien resident was charged with permitting a minor to possess alcohol following an underage drinking party at his home recently. Marcus Pagliarula of Swift Lane allegedly admitted to hosting 20 to 30 people while his parents were out of state. Darien police received an anonymous tip online about the party, and when they arrived, they saw a teenager standing in front of the home with a case of beer. Upon seeing the police, the youths turned off the interior lights of the home and could be heard running through the woods. Officers found numerous party cups and beer cans littered across the house and a table that they said had been set up for beer pong. Police said there were signs of profuse alcohol consumption, and they identified Pagliarula as the party's host. He said the guests had brought the alcohol, though he did not know from where. He was arrested and released on a $200 bond. But we're going to throw it back to Rob Adams now for a final look at the forecast. Rob?
All right, nice day out there, Kate. We've got a sunny day and a high near 84 with the wind out of the northwest around 9, mostly clear, low 59 tonight. Sunny and 77 for Wednesday to Thursday, mostly sunny and a high near 75. We go to Friday with a chance of showers, thunderstorms, possible afternoon, mostly cloudy and 72 for the high. Saturday, partly sunny and 79. Sunday, chance of showers, partly sunny and 78. Monday, chance of showers, partly sunny and 76. Looking okay out there. Milford, you're at 76. Greenwich, 76 as well. And right here in Shelton, 79 degrees. I'm back with you for Nutmeg Sports at 2, where we talk about Athletes of the Week. We'll review the state tournament and anything else going on. Donald Ang and I at 2 o'clock today on Nutmeg Sports, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. And of course, the Drive with Denise coming up at 12:30. And as Rob said, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. So be sure to check all of that out. And we'll see you for your coffee break tomorrow at 11.